Good morning, world. Your boy Retro is good to go for the most part. I'm just waiting on the old Bill Master, Broham Bill. I'm about to go down there in a minute. I got a joint rolled, which I'm about to roll another one for the day. Why the fuck did I leave my bowl out here? My dumbass ate that bowl of cereal last night. When Bill brought me milk, I was so excited, and we started getting to work. I didn't bring the fucking bowl back in. So I gotta clean all this stuff up pretty much. We're about to go get a U-Haul truck. So I'm gonna go get a U-Haul truck. All this stuff is gonna get cleaned up. Getting put back in the truck. I didn't really want to do it this way, and leave my motor at an angle like this. But, it's not gonna hurt anything. All the weight is on the diff and the front support. I would like to scrap this and get the money. I could cut the front of it, and get those, but all the weight is, I don't want my motor getting messed up. And the reason why I did this is yesterday, Ryan, well, first of all, I had a cherry picker, I had an engine stand, military man, an Air Force man, military man, needed it. I can't turn down a military man. I'm an ex-serviceman. I can't do that. The Lord, the Spirit told me to, give him the cherry picker. I would have gave it to the man. First of all, he didn't even have to give me $100. I would have given it to him. He was putting a motor in a BMW wagon for $3,000. He bought a BMW wagon. It needed a new motor. Somebody he knew, a girl, was buying the car from him. She wanted it, and it needed a new motor. He found another motor that was worth. The car was smashed. He bought the. I guess he and her bought. He bought the car for her at an auction, I guess, with the intention to put the motor in the car, which he said he didn't want to do. And I was like, well, why not? He's like, because I know when I put this motor in, it's gonna go again. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Which I already kind of knew where he was going at. He said that BMWs only last, 40,000, 50,000 miles. That's how the motors are. They're designed. He said that they're designed to have catastrophic failure, a lot of them. That's how they are. They want, a lot of these motors are built that way. All these high-end companies, all these Mercedes, BMW, even Dodge is very good for it. Dodge is good for this as well, believe me. They're only good for 100,000 miles. That's most companies, that's what they build the cars to get, 100,000 miles, and they want you to buy a new one. This is why I buy Chevy, Ford, and Honda and Japanese cars. Because 100,000 miles, this motor is just getting broken in, They designed this powertrain, right? The Chevy powertrain, to be able to get 100,000 miles from the factory, right? They basically wanted to sell a car. This is what they designed these for. They wanted to sell a car that person could come to the lot, buy a car, right? And make it last. It would last 100,000 miles with just basic maintenance, with just, routine oil changes, routine brakes, fluids, that type of stuff, routine maintenance, spark plugs, tune-ups. As long as you do all those things when you're supposed to do them, recommended, when you're doing everything right, that engine will last you 100,000 miles, with the powertrain, the trans, everything. If you're not beating on it and stuff, and there's no factory defects, that's why they give you that powertrain warranty, because they know what they're building. They know that if they put that out there, it's not going to come back. They're making money. Now these other companies are not like that. Their ethics are different. Their business ethics are complete different. And this is also why I love Honda. Honda makes the best engines. They do. I don't care what anybody says. They do. I mean, we can get technical, and all these technicalities, but overall, the company as itself, over all the years and motors and Honda's going to be your best efficient motor. They build the most. They build their motors to very high tolerances, or low tolerances, high standards, low, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So I'm about to get this rubber off. I gotta get these two rubber bump stops off. I gotta get this brake cable off. I gotta get this off. I gotta get this plastic piece from underneath there. All that shit matters. I gotta pull this. I gotta take this stuff off. This stuff has gotta come off. That back window, I'm gonna leave it in there. I'm not gonna smash it. That's just gonna make a mess. We might have to cut some of this out. I gotta go in there and get the blower motor. I want the blower motor out of here. I'm gonna list that for some money. I'll probably list that for $30, $50, depending on how much I go for. $25. I might take the gas pedal and the emergency brake. I'm gonna try to, take out some of this copper wire. This might get cut in half. If we can't lift it, I might cut it in half. I'm about to go rent the truck for half the day. It's only $20 to rent the truck, for the day. And then, for so many hours. And then, it's cost per mileage. It costs per mile. So, per gallon, you got to replace the gas. So, I'm going to go tell them, I'm because they're going to ask you what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell them I'm going to the scrapyard. I'm not. Because they don't want motors and stuff in the back of their trucks, that type of stuff, even though they don't really care. But it's just less bullshit, I'm not going to be damaging the vehicle. I'm not going to hurt it or anything like that. I'm not doing anything stupid. But I'm not going to tell them I'm moving scrap. I'm telling them I'm moving furniture today. So, all they need to know is I'm moving stuff. That's all they need to know. So, yeah, that's what's happening. I have a decent amount of money today. So, we're going to have to go on the scale twice. You guys are going to be with me. So, I'm probably going to put these on first. I don't know yet. It's probably actually better off putting this on first and then these on top. So, that means I'm probably going to end up dropping the straight metal first. So, all the metal that is stripped, that doesn't have any plastic, anything like that on it, material other than metal, I'm going to get a better price for it. I'm going to get more money for it per pound or, per kilo weight, per kilogram. So that's what's the deal. I got to, I'm going to take the hammer and knock these off, scrape these off. All this stuff's going in the truck today. And then I'm getting a cherry pick. I'm going to buy a used one. So that's why I'm going to keep the U-Haul for part of the day. As soon as I get this money, I'm going to look for a cherry picker and start messaging people and try to pick one up with the U-Haul. So you guys will be riding with me wherever I go. Meet that person. Then we'll be coming straight back here. Eat. Well, I'm probably gonna go get something to eat with Bill. Take him out to breakfast for all the help. Everything that he's done for me, man. I owe it to him. He's earned it. So I'm gonna put breakfast. Breakfast is gonna be on me today. Yeah. He's just gotta take me up to U-Haul, and he's footing the bill for the U-Haul. So I'm going to put in my name, but he's going to foot the bill. Which somebody actually just messaged me on that snowblower I listed for him last week. He took it back to this house because nobody messaged me on Facebook for it. 2 people walked by when I was having my little yard sale, house sale, which, I sold a few things. 2 people said they wanted it, never came and got it. But some girl messaged me today, some black girl from the hood, it looks like Claudine or something like that. I don't know. But she messaged me, asked me if it's available. I said, yeah, I'm home whenever she wants to come get it, come get it. I sent her my address and my thing. So what I'm gonna do is that's the update. I'm about to smoke, which y'all can smoke with me. I don't mean to make you guys envious, but I actually kind of want to I have to put my wax up, which I rolled this, but gives me a reason to hit my wax and put it up since I got to put it away. I hit it this morning once. So I've used a lot of it. I smoked. Listen, I've been smoking this, and I've only smoked one joint. Well, two. You seen what you seen me put out on the tray yesterday is what I smoked yesterday. I have the roaches, which I pulled out weed today, which I rolled this one, right? This is the voodoo glue, right? And then I pulled that out for today. This is what I have left for tomorrow, which I gotta pay my cell phone bill. I mean, I gotta pay no, I don't have to pay my cell phone bill yet. I gotta pay my internet bill today. I gotta pay my electric bill, which both of those are $50, so that's $100. I'm giving Bill money. I'm splitting this bill with him, this money with him. So I'm shooting for 500. I'm shooting for 500 today. So that hopefully will leave me with 150 if I make 5 today. Which then, I will have 150. I'll have 150 to play with. I gotta buy the cherry picker, which I'm hoping to get one between 50 and $100. I'm probably gonna end up spending $100. And then, depending on how much I pay for a cherry picker, I'll have 50 to $100. I'm going to be getting food and probably stopping at the dispensary too, if I have the truck, and get this cherry picker. So I got a lot going on today. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission today. That's the plan. So yeah, let's smoke. And then what I'll do actually before I upload, since Bill isn't here and it's only a 12-minute video, we'll read the Bible. We'll smoke, we'll read, because I got to get that in. I get upset. I get really upset. Like, I'll have a guilty conscience if I plan on, if I make a note in my mind, in my heart to, get some Bible study in, I'll get upset. And I got to change this belt real quick. I don't want to keep on tightening this when I'm in the scrapyard. I don't want to have to deal with my fucking shorts falling down all day. I'll be right back. Gotta find my belt. Try to remember where I put it. Trying to find that one. I go through belts like fucking crazy for some reason. I don't know why. I tear them up. I found it. I tear these belts up, man. These double belts are the only ones that last me. See how it's already starting to tear? Leather belts seem to last the longest for me. I spend money on nice belts. I just tore my last nice belt that I had, which I paid it was like $60 for that belt. It lasted a few years. It finally just broke. I just bought this one. I like the double ones. With the double things, they last longer. They do. And I'll show you why they last longer. My theory in it. Because when you have that one, right, you have all the weight, all the pressure, all the, tension is on one of these, instead of two. That's why I have two, because it always tears. Every time I bought one like this, it's lasted a lot longer. So I'm giving it another shot. Because the last of my nice one that I had tore. And those ones that you pull tight, I can't do it today. This is what I wore today. I was going to wear the pants, but it's warm, first of all. It's going to be warm today. I can tell. I haven't even checked the weather. That's my internal weather checking. I just threw on my dirty shirt from yesterday because I'm going to get dirty. This hoodie, I wear it every day. I don't really like wearing my Nike King hoodie, but, to the scrapyard, but it is what it is, I kept my thermals on, and these socks, so I travel, man. I've been around the world, bro. I'll put down 60 miles on my feet a day. My bike riding, I'll do 50 miles a day on my bike riding. All you gotta do is watch my videos. I'm not lying. People think I'm lying. I'm not lying. I record everything I do. I've been doing this a long time, man. Your boy's a beast. Listen, size don't mean shit. You hear me? Like size, that don't mean shit. I'm fucking rock style. Size don't mean shit. I'll kill a motherfucker, man. One hit. You hear me? I know where the button's at. You know, I've been trained in warfare, you know, and I'm talking about spiritual warfare. I'm not talking about that physical shit. That physical shit ain't nothing. You hear me? That physical shit ain't nothing. I can hit somebody, no problem. It's this, that spiritual warfare, that mental warfare, that's key. Right there, using this. Right here, God gave you this to use it. Right? But people can't use this correctly if they're not using this. That's the problem. They want to use this and this. You hear me? The women do too. The women, they think with this and this. Believe me, women think with this too. They're created just like us. They're created from us, the Bible says. They think just like us. Right? And the Bible clearly says in Genesis, when God cursed women, it says, you will bear children in sorrow, and you will only find your glory, your happiness in your man. Which means that you can control a woman by a man. That's why women stay in relationships when they're abusive, because that's all they know. That's what they're taught. They don't know any better. And it's your fucking job as a Christian man, and when you see that, is to stop that. And if you don't, you're a piece of shit. You need to stop it. You hear me? You gotta stop that shit. Immediately. Women, listen, our country needs to change. Our country treat our women like shit. I've been around the world, you hear me? I've been around the world, man. Our country, American men treat women like shit. They do. They don't have no chivalry. They have no heart. They don't even know what a home is. And the reason why most American men, United States of American men, don't have a home or know what a home is, because they were never provided with one. I've been in so many other countries around the world, man, where you can feel the warmth in the home. You can see it. The children are happy, joyful. The family is joyful. And guess what? They're poor. They are poor. They have no money. All they have is the food they have and a home. And what? Guess what they have? They have faith. They have God and what they do in their children. They love the earth. They found happiness in who they are. They know who they are. And guess what? I could walk up to that person, right? And I bet you any money, I ask them, you believe in Jesus? I bet you any money they're going to shake their head. Especially if they're modern. And if they don't know Jesus, if they've never read the book, I guarantee they're going to love me with this. They're going to love me with this. That's what Jesus was. Jesus didn't come here and say, worship me. Jesus said, worship God. Jesus never said, worship himself. He says, well, that's why he said, I am the Son of Man. He never said I was God. People put him on par with God because God came into his life. God renewed him. God gave him the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. God gave himself to himself. Because if he created everyone, right? If he created everyone, and he gave himself to save us, he gave himself to save himself. He already knew it was going to happen. He already knew everything. He knows everything from beginning to end anyways. That's just how it is. And we're about to smoke. And I'm all over the place right now, so that's fine. The coffee's just now kind of kicking in. So. Rich. No, I'm not all fucking coked up or zooted or... I hate that shit. Because I know there's so many people on the other side of the phone fucking judging. I know how people are. Oh, look at this fucking drug addict. Blah, blah, blah. Look, he's smoking weed, man. Look at that fucking meth pipe right there he's got. Look at that fucking meth pipe, man. Look, he's a crackhead. Look at that fucking meth pipe, man. You can't believe in Jesus and smoke meth at the same time. No, you probably shouldn't. Then I'm not smoking meth. Listen, this thing gets hot. When you get this that hot with this propane torch, it's funny, this wax, the good stuff, definitely has better, whatever they use is definitely more flammable for the extraction process, because when I get it really, really hot and I put this in there, even when I let it cool down, it still pops. It still lights on fire sometimes. Which then you gotta blow out the flame. Sometimes I feel like I over torch it, but I can't stand that char taste, man. I can't. I'm gonna have to get a new quartz soon. It's gonna go bad soon, I think. I haven't been through a bad one. Like, this would be my first one I've gone through. So I've smoked almost a gram of this so far. This is 2 grams. Which I've been smoking more than I should, because I haven't had it in a while. And I was doing all that physical activity yesterday, all that scrap pretty much. I did most of that myself. Bill came over at towards the end of the day, which I'm happy, because he had really good blades and he had that Sawzall, and I was able to, with his help, I was able to bust the rest of it out, which, we're gonna get paid today, so, which is real nice. So I'm gonna give you guys a number today. Usually I'll grab a number. I talk to God through cards. He talks to me through cards because I believe he does. I ask him to. This is why, in the Bible, there was a character in the Bible that used to, they would talk and ask God to do. They would take like a blanket, right, and lay it down on the ground, and if there was dew on the blanket, that was yes. They answered the question. If there wasn't dew, it was no. There's many different ways people ask God to communicate to them with. Like when I asked, how would I know what woman is the wife I should propose to? Because I never proposed to a woman before, and I didn't really have a relationship with God before, the last person I thought I wanted to marry, which I was with that person on and off for 9 years. Her name is Chelsea. But now that I've been with Jesus, I have a relationship with God. I talk to him about everything, all day, every day. Like here, how I'm talking to you, I talk to him just like this on the phone. I make these videos, that's how I talk to him. I ask him for everything. I talk to him about everything. I thank him for everything. I ask him for stuff. Before I even start talking to you guys, I ask him, what I should talk about for the day. And, he tells me, he'll tell me, he talks to me through my heart. He will talk to you through your heart. He will have ideas pop up in your head. He will use other people, like people will come into your life that you don't even know randomly, and change things for you, but you gotta imagine it. That's the problem, is the evil one is very, very good and trained, and he's trained. Remember, he has people. People tend to forget that the evil one isn't the only one at work. He has people with him. He has angels. He's conned a whole bunch of angels with him. That means he has spirits. That means there's other angels, there's other spirits out there that are at work. That means that people are being possessed with spirits that you cannot see physically with your eye. That's why you gotta watch them. That's why I say if they're moving fast or they're doing things, they're evil. I'm not saying if they're playing sports, they're evil, moving fast. But if they're they're fretful and they're frightened and they're freaking out and screaming and stuff, be careful of them. They're dangerous. They're those are the people you gotta watch out for. You see all the stupid Facebook comments, the person that does this, that's your worst enemy. Don't listen to all that bullshit, man. You want to listen. You want to keep your enemies close. You want to keep them in your pocket. And you can't keep all of them in your pocket, the ones that are far away. So it's the only ones that are close to you that are the ones that are able to have a cause and effect in your life directly, not indirectly. Those are the ones that you can name, the people that you can put a name on, that you have in your life that aren't there for you. Which, how you know if they're not there for you? If they don't bring you food to your house, if they've never come out of their way to bring you food, they're not there for you. And if you don't know if they're gonna do that, if they will ever do that, test them. Ask them to come over. You don't have to lie, but, go put yourself in a situation to where that person, will be required, out of, not feeling bad, but would out of a good heart, would be like, okay, maybe I should go get this person some food. If they don't bring you food, they don't call you, they don't see you, anything, cut that person out. I don't care if they're your family or not. Listen, test everyone. You think I didn't test Margarita? That's why I proposed to her. I tested her. She knows she was tested. She tested me. First thing she brought up was I didn't sleep with her the first night. That impressed her right away. I didn't try to get down her pants. And she slept next to me the whole night, the first night. She stayed the night the first night. Yeah, she stayed the night, the first night. A woman that has culture, that has smarts, that loves herself, that has dignity, self-worth, stayed with me the first night. Listen, she was hesitant. I didn't con her or anything. Like, I didn't overwhelm her or try to, no, you need to stay here, I didn't do that. No. We simply enjoyed the night. We had so much fun that she didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave. And she felt comfortable enough, and I told her, look, Margot, you can stay. Please stay. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to get to know you, I want to know who you are. And listen, I miss this woman a lot. It hurts me that we're not together because of stupid fucking ignorant American shit. Listen, American people, these agencies are using Mexican women. These agencies are using Mexican women, and they're making profit off of these women. And it's not necessarily the agency that, is doing it on purpose, they have good intentions, but they know what's going on, and it's their bread and butter, so they allow it, and these families know that they can sign a contract and not fulfill the contract and just use these women and not pay what they're supposed to pay and get really cheap childcare, and they're gotta remember they're trying to live rich, right? These people, they're trying to have expensive, nice cars and big homes. They're living without their means, and that's why they're not paying these young women, and these young women are getting forced into all these fucking stupid ass marriage fucking battles and stuff. they're fucking coming over to watch these kids, you know, and getting paid shit, and then fucking gotta watch the man fucking cheat on the wife and fucking, you know, not pay these women, and then, you know, fucking come home and fucking not only cheat on the wife, now they're coming home drunk and they're fucking groping on the fucking, you know, the woman that speaks 3 different languages that's really young, and, you know, they're drunk and she's looking really good to them, you know, this guy, and now they're groping on them and stuff. Listen, it's been documented. This is what's happening right now as we speak to these women. And it's really bothering me that this is happening, and I'm in love with one of them. And this is what happened to her. And she spoke up about it, and the agency shit on her. And instead of her going back home, right, and just, you know, like giving up, she said, no, I'm not going to let the agency fucking deal with you, you know, fucking ruin my dreams. I'm going to find another family. And they told her that she had 1 week to find a family, wouldn't give her no money, no nothing, right? The family was supposed to let her drive, wasn't teaching her how to drive. I was paying for it, so she knows how to drive. That woman knows how to drive. And then they lied and tried to say that she was scared. You haven't been taking her driving. You let her drive once. And she doesn't know the signs. She's learning everything. Like, and you haven't even taken the time to help her, like, translate anything, you know what I mean? Like, this stuff is hard when you're in a different language. Like, what the fuck? I was so upset. It was so crazy how rude they were, and how, like, she would, like, try to teach me a new word, right? Which I mentioned in another video, while we're out together. We went to Henry Ford together, you know, all together. And the woman would be like, I already know that language. I already know the language. We all know what it means. Like, but I don't. The kids don't. You know, she was teaching the kids, you know, French and Spanish. And the mom did not care, man. It wasn't the dad. It was all the mom. The mom controlled everything. She was one of those gold-digging, money-hungry women, man, that had it all and controlled the husband. The husband isn't even going to live for long. Like, isn't going to be there long. Like, that marriage isn't going to last. And Margarita's not even with those people no more. And then what's crazy is, after Margarita left, Margarita felt so terrible how they treated her. The new girl, she warned the other girl, and the other girl, because the girl before Margarita left a note, which I mentioned in another video, and the food, she wouldn't even try their heritage or food. And then I got dragged around because Margot wanted to help the other girl that was from Colombia. You know, this girl wasn't from Mexico, this girl's from Colombia, you know, and, you know, like, this shit's crazy, dude. I was getting dragged into that. And that girl immediately, didn't know what to do, and was like, and didn't have a strong backbone like Margarita. Wasn't from the streets like Margarita, you know what I mean? Wasn't a queen. She was a girl, a kid that showed up in this girl's house, in this home. She was frightened, man. She didn't know what to do. And this woman and husband, they're swingers, man. You know, they're type of, you know, they get down like that type of shit. You know, they're weird. You know, dad had, you know, was one of those little weird, like, computer, like, bisexual fucking guys. You know, that have a lot of money. You know, and was like in a rich neighborhood. You know, and parents had all the money. You know, and what the girl is the parents had money, or acted like they had all money, and that's what she is. She's money hungry, and she, you know, she don't have no money no more, and so she was taught to marry. Her mom taught her to marry and make sure you have a husband that has a lot of money. You know what's funny? You know what she told Margarita? She told Margarita to make sure that to leave me and go marry a person that has a lot of money, and that I'm broke. Listen, man, I laugh. I've touched millions of dollars. Listen, I have. I've been around the world, right? And because I'm building this truck, right? Because I'm building this truck, and I was having problems with it, and I was moving into this house with my dad, I just helped put a down payment on my dad's truck, right? Got him a twin turbo EcoBoost and was letting him drive it. I wasn't driving my EcoBoost. My dad needs to be in a bit nicer truck than me. That's why I bought it in the first place. Why I bought the Silverado, the GMC Sierra that he smashed. I was driving this, right, which I'm building, right? I'm building up. She judging me, man, judging me. And what's funny, right? She came over to this house, right, which is in Redford, Brightmoor area, right? Which literally 2 blocks away, a couple blocks away, you're in the ghetto. You're in, boom, boom, boom. I hear gunshots all the time. She's in Farmington, right, which is richy rich. I'm talking, an average person makes 80,000, 100 grand there, right? But you go to her house, yeah, it's a nice home, but it's a trailer. It is. It's a trailer. It was a double wide trailer that somebody slapped on the land and fucking extended it, right? And she didn't even know that. I pointed that out when I was there. I was looking at the structure of the house and her husband's there, and stuff. And I'm like, man, this is a really nice home, And they're like, yeah, we paid 200, we got a really good deal on it, We paid, 250 grand for it, blah, blah, blah. And it's crazy because, the homes over here are usually like 300 grand, 400 grand, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. And I'm trying to figure out, wondering why, like why they got such a good deal on it. And I'm looking at it and stuff, and immediately it hit me the way it was set up. I grew up in a trailer park, I've lived in a trailer park a lot. My family has, not me. I've never owned a trailer myself, but I would. I'm not bougie like that, There's so many reasons why I'd rather live in a trailer than live in this home. But anyways, I told them, like, dude, this is a trailer and it's been extended. And they're like, yeah? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you can tell by the beam that goes across and the island kitchen and stuff. And then I was looking at the floor and everything. I like jumped on the floor and I knew there's no basement, because the way the land is over here, they don't make a lot of basements over here. They do, but there's a lot of slab houses or, ranch style houses where they have a floor space, That's how a lot of the houses are over here. And that's what they had. So, like, I jumped on the floor, and you could tell, like, it was just shit, like it wasn't, what they thought they had. It was funny. People, man, they crack me up. They're hilarious. Hilarious. Just like this table. Right? It's a cherry red wine table, I listed it for 500, but people are trying to tell me that I'm asking too much for the table. It's a red cherry wine table. Listen, you don't have it. Why are you even complaining? Obviously you like it. You're clicking on my link, Stupid. Anyways, back to Bible. We're gonna read a chapter and then I'm gonna upload. I got a pretty good buzz actually from that hit. I love that wax with the CBD. It does. Usually it's funny when I read the label and it said when activation time 1 to 10 minutes. I'm like, damn. Usually it's immediate, but I see why it says it. It creeps up on you, man. It does. It does. Like, I feel definitely a lot higher now than I did 5 minutes ago. I got a good buzz, and that's surprising when you smoke it and you feel it immediately. That's why you smoke it in the first place. I do eat it, which is probably the most healthiest, beneficial way to use marijuana because of the damage to your lungs smoking it. That simple reason alone. And actually a lot of people, if you like watch strain hunters, on YouTube, they travel around the world, tracking down, race breeded seeds. A lot of Africans, where most of the good marijuana is, they find a lot of the strands is in South Africa, in the middle of Africa. Most of the tribes and the indigenous people that grow it, for money or for, medicinal purposes, they don't eat. The people that actually grow it in the field, they don't smoke it. and they don't even ingest it unless they're sick. And when they are sick, they have a cold like I've been feeling the last couple of days because of the cats, because they all died besides one, the one I have, and well, three. But they take this, and they basically put it in a pot with a stone, and they, grind it down, and they make a drink out of it, and they drink it. And they'll tell you in the video, in the episode, they when they drink it, they feel it go down into their lungs and into their stomach and in their chest when it hurts, when they breathe. You got that really bad chest cold, and it gets rid of it. It immediately makes it go away. It soothes. They tell you it soothes it. It makes the soreness go away. Everything. It gives you energy. It helps you get through the day, work through the day, and they only take it when they need it. Unlike me, where I smoke it every day religiously. Which, religion was, God is against religion. Jesus was against religion. He wasn't against weed. What's funny is, Jesus didn't even really ask much from people, man. If you read the Bible, Jesus didn't ask anything from anybody. All he asked for was people to accept Jesus in their heart and look to God for guidance. That's why I don't understand why people get so upset and get so mad. It pisses me off. Like, why are you even freaking out because I said the name Jesus? That's how I know Jesus is real, that they're possessed, that there's evil spirits out there. Somebody finally, some scrapper looks like, is finally either getting the fridge my neighbor got or they're dropping it off. Hopefully they're dropping one off. That'd be nice. My neighbor would have a new fridge. He needs one. Yeah, that's what it looks like. They might be picking that one up. I don't know. But also, if you go over his house, right? He's 93. And this is also why I follow the Bible. The Bible says that God will care for everything God will care for you. God always cares for everybody. Only take what you need. When I had that big ass fridge, it was a waste. And every time I did fill it up, my dad would fill it up, I'd tell him not to buy all this food. He would fill it up, right? And all that food would get wasted. I wouldn't eat it. He wouldn't even eat half the food he bought. It would just get wasted and go bad and expire. And if you go over old man's house, that's how his house is. He's got all that stuff, and then, what's crazy is he's like, you want all of this stuff? He's got like 30 bottles of dressing. He's got all this other crazy shit. I'm like, no, I don't want any of that, right? He's like, I don't want any of it. It's all bad, right? I'm like, well, then throw it out. No, you don't want it? I'm like, no, you just said it was bad, but it's good. You should take it. I'm like, no, I'm good. And then he's about to put it all back in the fridge. It's fucked up, man, and the evil one, man, has got him like that. And he's by himself. That's why he doesn't have nobody. He ain't gonna last much longer, But it says, so we read the bread and fish for all, and we stopped. That was yesterday. That's why it's so important to watch my videos, like, start from the beginning, which I mentioned in my very first video. The channel will make more sense when you go to the first video, watch my testimony, which I had listed as my home video when you first click on my YouTube page. But this is Margarita's channel. This is everything's for Margarita. The storm chasing is for me, but Life Stories Perspectives I wouldn't have made Life Stories Perspectives if it wasn't from Margarita. That's why I chose this name, and chose to do what I'm doing because of the racial stigma she deals with, because of her color and her culture, being here, and what she's dealing with now, and also what I deal with as well. I deal with things as well. I'm Polish, so me and her being together, we get a lot of support. We get more support than anything, actually. I couldn't tell you how much love we get. It's crazy the amount of love we get. especially from the black community. The black and Latino community, we get the most love from. The whites support us too, but you'd be surprised how many people it does surprise me still, in today's age, how much racial stigma is still out there, and how much problems me and Margarita, when I was with Margarita, briefly, that amount of time we had briefly, while we had time together, because of our circumstances, currently, that brief time, it blew my mind what we had to deal with. That's why, that was another reason why, I was asking Jesus, talking Jesus about it, because it hurt me, and that's what Jesus said, it's time to make the channel, it's, he pushed me to do it, which I mentioned in my testimony, he's pushing me to talk about him, which is, what I've learned in the Bible, and, what he tells me in the heart, and from my experiences, you got to reflect on it. And a lot of people, I mentioned today, this is going to be the topic for, yesterday and for the week, all week. It's going to be the topic, isolation, and why people need time alone, and what it means, where's that fine line? Like, when is enough, like, how much time should you take alone, those type of things, when is it time to call it quits, or when should you go, get help and ask for help, and reach out, when you've had too much time of isolation, those type of things, because as people with addiction, which I've always dealt with, not only for myself, but I've watched it growing up. I was in that type of environment growing up, in that type of home. I was born in a drug dealing home. Not only people that were using drugs, but also people that were dealing drugs as well. I had both sides coming from the family. Most of my family's fucking nuts. But I'm thankful for it. I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't have the purpose I have today, making this channel, and being able to help Margarita, or myself, or, all those that, might be looking for the help or need the help, on the other side of this phone, and if that's you, you need to hit that subscribe button, because I'm someone genuine that's been through it. I can tell you exactly what you got to do. And that's for you to take or not to take. Whether that goes in one ear or out the other, that's your judgment call. But at least the seed is planted. And that's the whole purpose of it. That's what God, teaches. Jesus teaches all the time. You got to plant the seed. You must harvest. We mentioned in John, he said, in another chapter before, his disciples, he told his disciples, you guys walked in on a field that has already been planted. The people before has already took the time and planted the field. You have done nothing but simply come here and have eaten. You've done nothing for God yet. You've just sat here and have just plainly eaten from God. God is surprised, God is constantly provided for you, but you have no relationship for God or anything, nor have you worked for Him. Just because you have a relationship with Him doesn't mean you worked for Him. He's still feeding you. You get what I'm saying? You're still just relying on His love, His His mercy, His grace. You're not working for Him. You haven't done anything. Like make music or write a book or take the time to go out and talk about Jesus and say His name, in front of people, because most people that do believe in Jesus, which is most, I promise you it is most, that's why it says many are called but few are chosen. most Christians that say they love God, they love Jesus, they believe in Jesus, don't talk about him at all, about anybody, nor read the Bible. They just say they believe that they're simply, all they got to do is say I believe in Jesus and we'll make it to heaven, or the heavens, which is more than one heaven. That's simply not true. It's grace alone that you're saved, yes, but you're not going to be in his kingdom if you don't work for him. Why would he put you to service if you have no resume? That don't make any sense. They don't. But the bread of life, we're gonna read the bread of life. It says so it's John, chapter 6, chapter 6, 2:7. It says 6.27. The bread of life. Don't waste your energy striving for perishable food like that. Work for the food that sticks with you, food that nourishes your lasting life, food the Son of Man provides. He and what he does are guaranteed by God, the Father, to last. To that they said, well, what do we do then to get in on God's works? Jesus said, throw your lot in with the one that God has sent. He says, what do you do then to get in on God's works? That's what I do, man. Cast my whole lot. Everything I do, I glorify God. Everything I do and say and think about, I think of how I can teach people or how I can show people his love. When you do that, or you're willing to sell everything you have, God immediately come in your life. But you got to ask him for forgiveness first. And you got to cry. You got to be sorrowful. You got to be sorrowful. Not that fake shit. You can't barter with God. You can't end up in jail and be like, please, God, let me get out of jail and I won't ever do drugs again. I'll never smoke a cigarette again. Stupid. Yeah, you will. You know you will. Shut the fuck up. It says, to that they said, what do we do then to get in on God's works? Jesus said, throw your lot in with the one that God has sent. That kind of commitment gets you in on God's works. They waffled. Why don't you give us a clue about who you are? Just a hint of what's going on. When we see what's up, we'll commit ourselves. Show us what you can do. Moses fed our ancestors with bread in the desert, as says so in the scriptures. He gave them bread from heaven to eat. First of all, Moses didn't do anything. God gave them the bread. So this is what Jesus said. Jesus responded, the real significance of that scripture is not that Moses gave you bread from heaven, but that my Father is right now offering you bread from heaven. The real bread. The bread of God came down out of heaven and it is giving life to the world. They jumped at that. Master, give us this bread now and forever. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. The person who aligns with me hungers no more and thirsts no more, ever. I have told you this explicitly, because even though you have seen me in action, you don't really believe me. Every person that Father gives me eventually comes running to me, and once that person is with me, I hold on and don't let go. I came down from heaven not to follow my own whim, but to accomplish the will of the one who sent me. This, in a nutshell, is that will, that everything handed over to me by the Father be completed, not a single detail missed. And that the wrap-up of time I have everything and everyone put together, upright and whole. This is what my Father wants, that anyone who sees the Son and trusts who he is and what he does and then aligns with him will enter real life, eternal life. My part is to put them on their feet alive and whole at the completion of time. At this, because he said, I am the bread that came down from heaven, the Jews started arguing over him. Isn't this the son of Joseph? Don't we know his father? Don't we know his mother? How can we now say, I came down out of heaven and expect anyone to believe him? Jesus said, don't bicker among yourselves over me. You're not in charge here. The Father who sent me is in charge. He draws people to me. That's the only way you'll ever come. Only then do I do my work, people putting together, setting them on their feet, ready for the end. This is what the prophets meant when they wrote, and then they will all be personally taught by God. Anyone who has spent any time at all listening to the Father really listening and therefore learning, comes to me to be taught personally, to see it with his own eyes, hear it with his own ears, from me. Since I have firsthand from the Father, no one has seen the Father except the one who has been alongside the Father, and you can see me. I'm telling you the most solemn and sober truth now. Whoever believes in me has real life, eternal life. I am the bread of life. Your ancestors ate the manna, bread in the desert, and died. But now here is bread, and truly comes down out of heaven. Anyone eating this bread will not die, ever. I am the bread, living bread, who came down out of heaven. Anyone who eats this bread will live, and forever. The bread that I present to the world so that it can eat and live is myself, this flesh and blood self. At this, the Jews started fighting among themselves. How can this man serve up his flesh for a meal? But Jesus didn't give an inch. Only insofar as you eat and drink flesh and blood, the flesh and blood and the blood of the Son of Man, do you have life within you? The one who brings a hearty appetite to this eating and drinking has eternal life, and will be fit and ready for the final day. My flesh is real food, and my blood is real drink. By eating my flesh and by drinking my blood, you enter into me, and I into you. And the same way that the fully alive Father sent me here, and I live because of him, so the one who makes a meal of me lives because of me. This is the bread from heaven. Your ancestors ate bread and later died. Whoever eats this bread will live always. He said these things while teaching in the meeting place in Capernaum. So, I'm going to break it down real quick, 'cause it's almost an hour. What he's saying that his blood, they argue and said, how can I eat this man? He's saying, like, how can he serve up his flesh for food? God instilled the 10 Commandments in my heart. We all have a conscience. We all know right from wrong. And he had to do so and tell us not to do one thing, which we didn't obey. That's why we got conned into it by Lucifer. But this is why we sin. This is why we have a guilty conscience. Even if a person doesn't do anything wrong, a baby never does anything wrong ever, and has a perfect life, that kid is still going to feel, the kid is still going to suffer. That child is still going to feel pain, that physical pain and emotional pain. And so are animals. And that's what Lucifer did, because Lucifer once he tricked Eve into eating, not obeying what God said, God cursed the earth. He cursed everything in the earth. All the animals, everything in it. This is why it's all decaying, because God cursed it in the first place. But since God cursed it, God had to give us a way out. That's why Jesus said, I am the bread of life out of heaven. God simply put it in our heart, right? The 10 Commandments, which it's in our blood, right? To sin, to do wrong things. That's why God gave himself as a bread of life, as a belief. That's why you're supposed to break bread with others. And Jesus says you must believe in me. You must believe that when you drink that cup at Mass, at the fellowship, at the church, because Jesus is the church, the body of church, not only as a whole of the universe, the universal church, but in the heart. That's why the Catholic Church is the only real church. That's facts. The Bible clearly says the only church is the Catholic Church. No other church is a real church. Why would it change? It's never changed. That's why there's always been a pope. The sacred knowledge that got lost from the Israelites, they fucked up. They lost it. They didn't do as they were commanded. So God gave Jesus sacrifice himself, because he was born of God's Spirit, born of the Immaculate Conception, it was his blood, his pure blood, because they used to sacrifice animals before to sin, which was only a temporary way of clearing a person's conscience. We felt better about ourselves when we did that work and we sacrificed. Because but they still felt guilty, and that's why they were doing it, so much. The evil one and the spirits, the evil one controls the other evil angels, that control, possess people. They're hard at work. But that's why God gave us a belief. That's why it says you must believe. When you drink that cup, you must believe that you're drinking Jesus' blood, and you must believe that you're eating his flesh. Picture it. Consciously think that you're eating his flesh off that cross. Consciously believe that you're drinking his blood. The Holy Spirit will enter you, but ask forgiveness. You better not do not come and do that with a guilty conscience. Do not come to that, do not come to that altar, that significant symbology that in your life, when you do so. Because you are asking God to be born again. You're asking God to enter you in the Holy Spirit, and then you must work physically. Because it isn't just spiritual faith. Everything works hand in hand, physical and spiritual. Because we are a spiritual body, and then when he cursed us, he clothed us, he put clothes, he killed the animals and made clothes and put them around us so we wouldn't feel guilty anymore about us being naked. So he had different plans for us, We were supposed to live forever, with our mates, you know what I mean, and stuff, and all that stuff. Now it's not. He's on a war path. Which, the Bible explains it all, so. But I'm going to finish, I already read it all, so we're done, we're done for the night. Not night. We're done for the day. I'm about to upload this. It's still early, What time is it? It's 8:22, so I'm about to go, light this. I'm going to eat a bowl of cereal. I'm going to turn on the coffee pot, chug the rest of that coffee, get ready, go steal Bill. My joystick is pretty much charged up. I'm going to plug in my phone. I'm just going to recharge it, cap it off, basically, top it off. Go grab Bill, wait for this to upload, because I got to delete the video, and then we got to load the truck, go get the truck anyways, and then, I'm going to try to bring you guys with me to go get the truck, all that stuff, but, I got to work around things. That's why I need a different phone. I got to get different service, all that stuff. I'm going to be trying to find the best service, all that. I'm going to be testing. I'm going to be doing a lot of product reviews, all that stuff. The next phone I'm getting is a Cat S6 II Pro. It's supposed to be the most durable phone out there, the best phone out there, in my opinion, that I can find so far. Other than the modular phones, which I plan on building and opening up a company for, with Linux on them, in my own app, which is coming out next year. But I'm looking for some business people, for some investors. Some people I talk to, their business ethics, their interests are not in what I need them to have interest in. So, I went to Southfield to the Mars building, in Bloomfield Hills, towards Southfield area, off of Telegraph. Months ago, I had it all over my Facebook. So, you can get a job there too, doing a lot of investing. If you want to go to school there, they got a good company, school there. You should check it out. If you live in Bloomfield Hills, like Detroit area, and you want to learn how to do stock investing and stuff, that's the best place to go to. I'm telling you. I know one of the guys down there, the gentleman. I was actually been meaning to contact him. I'm interested in going up there and doing some investments. But, right now I got other interests, priorities, which is Jesus. Jesus is my first priority in everything. So, my second priority is this right now. So I'll see you guys in a minute, all right? God bless.